It's something we're all told we should be doing, but often there's a little voice in the back of our heads that asks, is this really okay? The topic is self-care, but the question we're tackling today is self-care being selfish, or is it a net positive for everyone around us? Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Jaxom Talks channel. So today, we're diving into a topic that's all over social media, in wellness magazines, and in our daily conversations. Is self-care okay to do? We've all seen the quotes, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. It sounds great, it makes perfect sense on paper. But what about when that self-care means saying no to a friend who needs help, or skipping a family dinner to have a quiet night in, or splurging on something that feels a little indulgent? That's when it starts to feel less like a positive and more, well, a little bit selfish. So why is putting yourself first so powerful? When you prioritize your well-being, you're essentially investing in yourself. You're showing yourself that you matter and that you're worth the time and effort it takes to take care of yourself. This can lead to increased feelings of self-worth and confidence. Additionally, when you take care of yourself, you're better able to take care of others. You're more patient, more understanding, and more able to empathize when you're not burnt out or stressed. So let's break this down. First, let's look at the argument for self-care being selfish. The word selfish itself implies a focus on one's own needs to the detriment of others. Historically, we've been taught that putting others first is a virtue. Think about the parent who works 2 jobs to provide for their kids, or the friend who drops everything to be there for you. These are acts of selflessness, and they're highly valued. So, when we're told to put on our own oxygen mask first, it can feel counterintuitive, maybe even a little wrong. Now let's be honest, self-care can be monetized. It's a huge industry. Bubble baths, expensive retreats, fancy face masks. Sometimes it feels less about genuine well-being and more about consumerism. That's another reason why some people might look at it and think, this isn't real. This is just an excuse to be lazy or to spend money on myself. But here's where the perspective shifts. Let's talk about the net positive argument. The core idea behind self-care isn't about ignoring your responsibilities. It's about building a foundation of resilience so that you can meet those responsibilities effectively and sustainably. Think about it this way. When you're physically exhausted, you're more likely to be irritable. When you're mentally drained, you're less creative and patient. When you're emotionally running on empty, you can't fully show up for the people you love. The argument for self-care is that it's a preventative measure. Taking 20 minutes to meditate isn't selfish. It's an investment in your mental clarity so that you can be more present and a better listener later. Going for a run isn't just for you. It's to build physical stamina so you have the energy to play with your kids or to help a friend move. It's about filling your cup so that you have something to pour out. Let's consider a few real-world examples. The caregiver who schedules an hour alone each day to read a book or listen to music isn't neglecting their loved one. They're preventing burnout, which could lead to a far worse outcome for both of them. The teacher who takes a mental health day isn't being lazy. They are ensuring they come back to the classroom with the patience and energy required to teach a room full of children. This is a shift in perspective from I am taking this for myself over to I am doing this to be a better person for others. It's an act of responsibility, not indulgence. So, how do we find the balance? How do we practice self-care without it tipping into genuine selfishness? Here are a few things to keep in mind. Define what self-care means to you. It's not one size fits all. It doesn't have to be a spa day. It can be 5 minutes of deep breathing, saying no to an extra commitment, or simply going to bed early. Communicate your needs. Talk to your family and friends. Explain that you need a moment to recharge. The people who care about you will understand that you need to be at your best to be there for them. Remember the goal. The goal is not to escape your life, but to re-energize yourself to live it more fully. If your self-care is consistently leading you to neglect your responsibilities and relationships, it might be time to re-evaluate what you're doing. So, to answer the question, is self-care being selfish? At face value, it might seem that way. But when you look at the ripple effect, the benefits to your mental health, your physical well-being, and your emotional stability, it becomes clear that it is, in fact, a net positive. Don't try to do too much too soon, or you may set yourself up for failure. Start with small and achievable goals that you can build on over time. For example, if you want to improve your physical health, start by committing to a 30-minute workout 3 times a week. Or if you're struggling with stress and anxiety, aim to meditate for 10 minutes each morning. Remember, progress is more important than perfection, so don't be afraid to start small and work your way up. Finally, don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Reaching out to friends, family, or professionals can provide valuable support as you work toward your self-care goals. Practicing mindfulness, setting boundaries, and seeking support when needed are all important aspects of taking care of yourself. You may also want to consider joining a support group or online community for guidance and encouragement. It's also important to remember that taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. You can't be your best for others if you're not taking care of yourself first. It's also not a one-time thing either. Self-care is an ongoing process that requires attention and effort, but the benefits are so worth it. Self-care is often viewed as a luxury, something to be engaged in only when we have extra time or resources. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. Self-care is an essential part of living a healthy and fulfilling life, and it should be treated as such. It allows us to show up as the best versions of ourselves for our jobs, our friends, and our families. It's not about being selfish. It's about being responsible. So what do you think? I want to hear from you. Do you practice self-care? Do you ever feel guilty about it? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to Jaxom Talks for more conversations like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.